right? So I like to say Barakatah Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Rokaha Kwadash. Double ones to the apostles and elders of GMS, and salutations to you brothers out there that's doing this work in truth and sincerity. So I want to start off in the book of 2 Timothy 2:1. It says, "Thou therefore, my son, be strong in the grace that is in Yahweh Shah Mashiach, and the things that thou hast heard of me among many witnesses. The same commit thou to faithful men, who shall be able to teach others also. Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahweh, of Salakia, of Yahweh Shah Mashiach." So, one thing you got to understand being in this truth is that, it's going to be a difficult walk, right? It's going to be difficult. You're going to lose things. You're going to go through things. It's going to be a tough road, man. It's not going to be easy. Don't think that, when you get into this thing, whether if you on the opposite side or when you enter into a camp, that it's going to be easy. Once you increase in this knowledge, you're going to increase in sorrow, right? Also, the more you increase in this knowledge, you're going to distance yourself from a lot of people that you have known in the world, right? So some of the times it's going to be a lonely walk, right? You might have Akim, you might have brothers, but and in some cases it's going to be a lonely walk. So don't think when you get into this thing it's going to be easy. It's going to be something that like when you play a game, you want to play it on easy mode so you can just go through the game real quick. That's not how this truth is. That's not. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be a difficult walk, man. Right? But in that difficult walk, you're going to always find moments where you're going to be like, man, I'm glad that Yahweh Shah have put the spirit in me to wake up into this truth and keep walking the walk that I have to walk, regardless of the things that I have to go through in this truth, right? Regardless of the things that I have to go through in this truth, I still have the spirit to teach, still have the spirit to go out, and still have the spirit to do what I need to do for Yahweh Shah. This thing is not gonna be easy, man. You're gonna lose family. You could lose your family members. You could lose your woman. You can lose your kids. But there's a greater reward at the end of this, right? So I just want to say it again. Don't think when you get in this thing it's gonna be an easy walk. It's gonna be it's gonna be difficult, man. But it's really gonna show what kind of man you are. It's gonna show whether you a man of integrity, a man that can deal with the hardships and sorrows and keep going, or it's gonna show that you just gonna give up and say, I'm done. Because it happens. It happens where you have many men that has walked this walk and went back into the world. The scriptures tell you when you go into the book of Matthew, the 13th chapter, about the man who threw seed in the stony places, right? So you in this thing for a moment. It might have went good for you. You went out, you taught, you did your videos, you hung out with brothers, you drank, you laughed, you did all that. And then, situations come about where you like, forget it. And then you go back into the world as if you have, you go back into the world as if what you did for the years you've been doing has been for nothing. And in all honesty, according to the book of Ezekiel, the 33rd chapter, if you do decide, if because the scriptures talk about a man is persuaded in his own mind. If you do decide to go back into the world, right, and do what everybody else is doing, everything that you did during that time span you've been in the truth will go away. It becomes nothing to the Lord, man. So look, man, it's gonna be difficult. It's not gonna be easy, man. It's gonna be difficult, and you're gonna be in this thing thinking that, what am I getting out of it? What rewards am I gonna see constantly going out on the highways and byways, or making videos, or trying to walk in righteousness the best as I could? What is the reward? You're going to feel like you constantly giving and giving and giving and never receiving. Well, the Lord, you're going to receive, man. You just got to be patient. You're going to catch more hell than you are going to get a reward. You're going to catch more hell in this thing than you're going to get a reward. Because you got to understand, man, you are being broken down. You're being broken. The Lord is breaking you and then building you up as a new man. Everything that you learned in the world, the way that you thought, the way that you were thinking, the Lord is doing away with it. When you're pushing for this word and you going out on the highways and byways and, you making videos, you're still in a process of being broken down and built up. Because if that's not the case, right, you wouldn't have men who would get offended and go back in the world. You wouldn't have those type of men. So the Lord is constantly breaking you down and building you back up. But you got those that the Lord are breaking down, but they get offended, so they end up not getting built back up. So what happens is that they go back into the world because it's much easier. It's much easier for them. But you gotta keep, Lord willing, if the Spirit is on you, you got to keep pushing. You got to keep going, man. This is going to be a difficult task. It's not going to be easy, man. But the reward is going to be great. I was watching a video with Apostle Gabar that he just recently made. It was going into, I know it said something about a men are done or a men are finished or something like that. But he spoke on receiving those crowns, right? Receiving those crowns, receiving, right? That reward. This is going to be difficult, man. Things might not work out your way all the time. Or really, man, things might not work out your way at all. But like Paul said, Paul said we suffer for our salvation. I think that's 1 Corinthians 16 or something like that. Paul said we suffer for our salvation. This is what we suffering for. We suffering to receive that salvation, to receive that reward, right? We want that reward, man. And we know that it's going to come at a cost. It's going to come at a cost of losing our women, maybe even our children, maybe even some family members, but it's going to come at a cost, right? Because look, your family members are in the world. They want to be a part of the world. Your woman might want Valentine. She might want Christmas. She might want an anniversary. And you probably don't, and you more likely not going to want to be a part of none of that. Guess what? That right there can separate you and her. So you got to understand, man, is that this walk that you have to walk is a walk of also sacrifice. Because you sacrificing yourself. You saying, look, I'm willing to sacrifice everything that I have had, whether it be, the things that been in my life for years. I'm willing to sacrifice those things to do the will of the Lord. This is what this thing is about. You're going to suffer. You're going to have hardships. And you're going to sacrifice things. You're going to go through sorrows. You're going to go through things. Right? Again, this is not going to be an easy walk, man. So don't think that when the Lord wakes you up and now you find out you an Israelite and Now you teaching, you going out on the highways and byways. That's it. That's all you have to do. All I got to do is go out on the highways and byways. All I got to do is make my videos. And all I got to do is do the same thing all over again. No, the Lord, throughout your life, the Lord, you're going to be proven. Even when you not making a video, when you not on the highways and hedges, when you not amongst the Akim, the Lord is proving you. So you're going to go through things in your life to prove what type of man you're going to be for the Lord, man. And you're going to fall, you're going to stumble. But Lord willing, the Spirit is on you to keep walking this walk. So again, 2 Timothy 2:3, it says, thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahweh Shai. Look, when you, for an example, if you go to like YouTube and you look up like soldiers training from the U.S. to America to, Slovakia, from the U.S. to Russia to China, who else? You could say Japan, a lot of Asian countries, man, you know, they really go through some rigorous training. But if you look at the training that they do, that's some hardcore type of training. The Marines, the Army, right? These pretty powerful countries like China, Russia, they put their soldiers through some rigorous training. And you have to really be mentally strong in the mind to keep going with a training regiment like that, man. You have to be strong, man, to deal with something like that. Because, hey, man, you'll have a lot of men that'll enter into those militaries and they get put through the ringer and they quit. They I can't do this. It's too much for me. And I remember watching a video on the Marines where they had the dudes outside and they was like putting water on the dudes outside. They was putting waters on the Marine guys outside. And some of them dudes couldn't take it, man. They were like, I can't do this. I can't. And if you were too weak to do it, they sent your ass home. They told you to get up, pack your shit, go home. That's what they told you, man. So soldiers get put through the ringer, man. So you, as a man of the Lord, you are a soldier to the Most High. That means you going to get put through the ringer. You going to be tried as gold is tried in the fire, man. Right? So you going to go through it, man. You going to get put through the ringer in this thing, man. And you have to be mentally prepared to lose, to take a lot of L's, man. You have to be prepared to lose, to take a lot of L's. A lot of your own actions that you do in this truth is going to cause you to take a lot of L's. That's what it means to be broken down. That's a part of what it means to be broken down, is taking that old you and the Lord making you realize that the old way, that the old you have to be done away with. So you're going to get broken down, but the Lord is going to allow you, Lord willing, to see where your flaws and where you need to work at, where you need to work mostly at, right? On yourself. Maybe the way you talk to people, maybe the way you treat people, maybe the way, you deal financially, maybe the way you deal in many ways. The Lord is going to let you see your flaws, right? Lord willing, through the Spirit, the Lord's going to let you see your flaws. So that be something that you work on, right? So again, man, it's not going to be an easy task. So don't expect getting into this thing is going to be an easy task. It's going to be difficult, man. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be hard, right? First you went crawling. Now you walking, and then you're going to be running, because this also is a race. So again, it says, thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahweh Yahushua. It says, no man that warreth entangleth himself in the affairs of this life, that he may please him who have chosen him to be a soldier. So you're taking yourself out of the world to do what is required of you of the Lord. And I mean, in doing so, you're going to lose people, man. You're going to lose people. People are not going to want to stay in your life. So on top of that, you got to, and I mentioned it earlier, you got to expect to also lose your damn woman. She might not be what they say. She might not be hip to that, man. She might not be cool with how you run things now. You don't want to be a part. You don't want to entangle yourself with the world. So you take yourself out of the world. She might not be all right with that. So guess what? You got to let her go. And that could be one of the hardest things that you do in this truth is knowing how to let her go. And knowing that, look, at the end of the day, if you, Lord willing, the Spirit is on you to get through this, at the end of the race, the Lord is going to bless you. And you got to understand too, man, is that there's going to be a lot of hell that comes to this world, man, as you can see. People are losing their jobs. Stores are coming up empty. The cost of living, the wages are not keeping up with the cost of living, right? Debt is at an all-time high. People are sitting over here in a high amount of credit card debt. So this place is going to shit anyway, man. It's going to shit anyway. So endure these things. Hey, the scriptures tell you in the book of Sirach, what is that? I think the first or second chapter, where it tells you, make not haste when thou brought into a lower state. So you got to understand, man, is that you're going to take more L's in this thing than you going to take W's. That's for real. All jokes aside, you're going to take more L's in this thing than you going to take W's. Right? So be prepared to take L's. Be prepared to take those losses. You're not going to win, man. You're not going to win. You're not going to win. Right? Be prepared to take those losses. We waiting for that win when the Lord put those crowns upon our heads, but you're not going to win in his kingdom. You're going to take those losses. You're going to take those losses with your woman. You're going to take those losses with your family. You're going to take those losses at your job. You're going to take those losses, man. You're going to take losses. And at the end, we will win. So I want to say Barakatah Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Lord willing, this was edifying. Shalom.